Hello everybody, welcome to another live stream with Mint Markets. Today we have Wednesday and today we have special calendar. Let's switch real quick to it. We have today FOMC economic projections. So I expect a low probability session today. I expect some seek and destroy. However, I will give you my analysis, my opinion, and I will try to find and take live trades if I see any. At the very beginning, let me remind you that all being said and shown here is my personal opinion. This is no trade nor investment advice, so please do not take any trades or risk real money on anything being said and shown here. With that being said, let's jump right into the analysis. If you have any questions or want to comment anything, let me know in the chat. All right, so what we have seen already so far, or what I'm looking at, is we are in a short-term consolidation here. Yesterday we had a down close. Today we have already seen some up move. What I'm looking at, we have an old daily high here, old daily low here, pretty far away from our range here, but we have another old daily low here. We might, and also a volume imbalance and new week opening gap here. So I think we will see a retracement into this blue shaded area, so 19,870 at least. We have also yesterday's first presented fair value gap here. So we can see that here on the 1 minute chart, we are into it, mean threshold already reached. We are in a premium relative to 8:30 opening price here and New York midnight opening price here today. And the opening range has been completed. So looking for a silver bullet today. This is the first fair value gap formed at 10 a.m. We're right into yesterday first presented fair value gap, and I'm expecting it to trade into this blue shaded area here, which is our new week opening gap. And I expect seek and destroy today, as already mentioned, because we profile, so I expect some stop runs, not a wild, crazy, one-sided, high probability trade environment, since we have FOMC news later tonight, and the market will likely build sentiment will likely build sentiment during today's AM session, and the real move will take place tonight at 7 p.m. New York time here. And let's see how the reaction is once we reach this blue level at 19,871, our new week opening gap. And we will see if this lands as support and want to even go higher into yesterday's opening range gap maybe, or if it turns here and we see another run lower attacking stops. I'm not motivated to go long here. I'm looking for shorts currently in this session. And why is that? Because we are in a premium, so we are above the midnight opening price and the 8:30 opening price, and also above the opening range gap. So we are too expensive in my opinion to buy here already. From a weekly perspective, we're at the opening, so that's very neutral. But in terms of today's session, we are too expensive. So I'd be willing to look for a reversal setup here. If I take a trade, it will most likely be a short once we show signs of resistance here. Or maybe we can use this red shaded area as an inversion area, which is yesterday's first presented fair value gap. Here we might trade back into yesterday's opening range gap here. Let's extend that a little bit. We haven't met yesterday's opening range gap since we left it yesterday. So we had an instant meltdown yesterday after the 9:30 opening. So we see we could go back into it. Maybe the midpoint first target would be the low here, and the second target could be the midpoint, and also yesterday's midnight opening range here. There's two green lines here. However, too expensive for me to buy here. Waiting for a possible short, if at all. If you like me doing these live streams and find it useful, would highly appreciate it if you leave the video a thumbs up or the stream a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. Would help me a lot to grow this young channel and would be motivation to continue doing this on a regular basis. We have a fair value gap here inside new week opening gap. Let's see what we do here. Let's see, so far we find support. Again, I think we could go higher here into first level target would be 19,899. Second target could be 19,940s, and the midpoint 19,960, and then we will have to see. However, not going to buy it here, even though we see some support here at the new week opening gap and this small little 1 minute fair value gap came also back down to the first presented fair value gap as an inversion level, traded through and back into it. However, we have already touched the yesterday's opening range gap. So for me, this is not ideal for a long. Not ideal for a long. Right now. It might go higher, though. But I want to see a clear sign of reversal here. I want to see a market structure shift on the 1 minute. And displacement, ideally fair value gap. And then I'm going to try a short into the middle of the range, probably. So below this low could be a possible target here, 19.818, once we get the reversal. Let's see. Gotta be patient here. Gotta be patient here. Let's see where the next daily. We have also filled the volume imbalance, the daily one. So upside target is reached here. Let's see if it can go any higher, or if this lands resistance here for a nice short. So stops on the sell side have already been ran today. First, the stops on the buy side have been ran. Second, the stops on the sell side. And then we made a run higher. Classic ICT setup for the silver bullet also. Buy stops are triggered in, stopped out, sell stops are triggered in, and then the real move unfolds here. And let's see if there would have been a valid setup. I didn't see any. Setup would be here. Actually, we had not an inversion fair value gap, but we had a market structure shift here and a fair value gap here on the 946 and the macro on 950. Send it higher thereafter. So long, potential long, which I didn't want to take and didn't see at the time, would be here with a target of the new week opening gap. Could be not an ideal trade in my opinion. Stop would have had to be here, below here. First fair value gap, second and below it. So 50 point stop for a 100 handle trade, sorry, handle, not pip. Yeah. Not ideal for me. Let's see what we get here. Another retracement into the first presented fair value gap of yesterday. Let's see if we go higher, we should see some support here now. We should see a rally higher here above this blue line, 19.885 in my opinion. If we break lower, and leave this an inversion fair value gap, we might target this low here. So that's where I'm looking at actually. Let's point at that. Let's point that out here. Where is the eye? That's where I'm looking at. If we see a market structure shift. Nothing to do yet. Don't want to take a long here in this premium, even though we have some support levels here and also some possible targets left. Risk reward is not ideal. I will take a live execution if I find a trade worth risking. Probably stay out with my real money today before FOMC. Setup must be really, really convincing for me to take that risk. So far, nothing convincing me. Short little consolidation here. Want to see displacement lower to take a short, or displacement higher from here. The long, I will just tape read. Short, I might enter. Possible inversion fair value gap here. Let's see. We can also define the opening range now. We have the high and the low between 12 o'clock. 9:30 and 10 o'clock, of course. The highest high, lowest low is here, so we have our low here, low of opening range, and the high here of our opening range. 50% of that would be low here. That's also where a couple of stops are. Might be interesting level as well here. Not only this one. We can remove this now. So let's see, we traded through it, into it. Next displacement fair value gap lower could be a potential short if it forms. get another reaction here of the low of the new week opening gap. The projection, if I take the opening range, which is this high to this low here, we can make a projection as well. It would lead to the 50% projection would be here, so not reached yet. We have 520 now. So next important time point would be 5:30, would be 10:30, and then 10:50 for the macro. So far it stays bullish. Another attempt to go lower here. Again, fails to break lower here. Still in a consolidation. Nothing to do here. Entry would have been here, but nothing after 10 o'clock in my opinion yet. No entry yet. Need to wait the market to show its hands to me. Either displacement lower or displacement higher from here. And ideally a imbalance like this, a fair value gap, after a inversion, for example. Lovely would be if I could wish myself a setup. Lovely would be around lower here, a retracement somewhere into this potential inversion fair value gap, and then around lower with a fair value gap. Something like this would be ideal. Let's see. right, so we have reached the midpoint here, traded into the midpoint of this 1 minute in first presented fair value gap from yesterday, Tuesday, and into a 5 minute fair value gap. So this is, in my opinion, a last defense for the longs. This should hold if price in fact wants to go higher. I'd prefer to see some downside here, but so far it's fickle. We have traded into the midpoint here. So far, this fair value gap here, 2 minute, also 3 minute, 5 minute lends support so far. What I want to see is them giving away. So that I can take a short. No breakaway yet. I want to see a gap which I can enter on the downside. So far it's still very slow, moving slower slightly, but nothing, no gap to enter, no real displacement to enter, so I can just wait. As a target again, I'm watching this low here, and it could go as low as here. Here we have the top of the opening range, the high. So far this fair value gap worked as inversion. Nothing to enter yet. Nothing to enter yet. Very slow still. Very slow still. Now we might see some speed, hopefully. Not yet. Not yet. At least the tape reading works out so far. It did does what I want to, but it doesn't do it how I like it. I want it to leave a fair value gap. We have just entered the high of the opening range here, and we traded through the first presented fair value gap of yesterday, Tuesday. However, we did not leave it convincingly. I'm weighing out if there is any chance to get short, but I don't really see a very convincing setup yet. We have a inversion fair value gap potential here. Volume imbalance here, just traded into the volume imbalance. If one is very aggressive, he could have taken a short here. I'm still weighing out. Still weighing. Doesn't give me the signature I want to see. No fair value gap, no speed, it's just grinding slower, grinding slower and slower. But today we have to be careful due to FOMC in the evening. We just have to be careful. Not the session to risk it. Just not the ideal session to risk it. If the setup is not really good. Now we have a return into this potential inversion fair value gap here. Could be an entry here. Could have been an entry here. Not convinced yet. I'm not convinced yet. The market structure does not convince me. We saw a little reaction of this inversion, potential inversion fair value gap. Not enough for me to trade. Also the structure here is very fickle. Didn't really go convincingly below this in this first presented fair value gap. We might see a run up for these highs. Don't want to see it, but it's possible. And I'm not longing here. Don't want to take longs here. Very hard conditions today, in my opinion. Not easy trading. Potential market maker sell model here, though. Glad I haven't taken a trade yet. Very glad I haven't taken one yet. Today is probably a good day to not risk it if you're not very sure. Silver Bullet. Right. Now we are making another attempt lower again. I want to go short, but I don't find a good setup. I would like to short, but I don't find a good risk-reward setup. Not a good entry and not a good place for a stop yet. And I probably will be glad that I didn't short here. Probably. And here we go again, back up. Back up again. Glad I do not force trades in this environment. Very glad. Like not a long time ago, I would impulsively have taken trades here just to trade. And I would be very uncomfortable. And shit my pants probably. Not a nice setup. Even if I'd be in this trade and I'll be right, like all the retracement, all the fickleness, constantly close to the entry or close to the stop loss. Not a nice, comfortable feeling. Back into the inversion fair value gap. Third time, first time, second time, third time. Not ideal. Still think we could go lower here. On the daily we have reached an important level. On the 1 hour as well. 15 minutes still indecisive. Still indecisive. I think we will go lower, but just no trade, no high probability, low risk trade here. Might just grind around here and then drop lower at some point without giving me a solid chance to enter here. But that's okay. Better than being in this trade for hours and constantly fearing a retracement. Mhm. 9 minutes left until the full hour macro at 11:50. Let's see what happens there. Let me check. If I take a short, my stop would be somewhere above here. Like my entry, my stop would be probably above here, and my target would be here. So finally we have another run lower, which I wanted to see. However, still not ideal for a short. I will do it just for showcasing purposes. Oh man, this entry sucks. How bad was this entry? I wanted to have it like right on the high here. Shitty entry, shitty slippage. Oh man, the entry was horrible. I will close it here. I don't like the entry here. The entry was horrible. Very bad risk reward management here. I wanted to catch the short right on the high here. And it got me filled in right at the low. Alright. Doesn't matter. I just tape read it here. It can run without me. And it does. And it does. At least it does what I'm saying. Very nice. Very nice. That was my trade idea. Without a very nice entry chance here. Trade idea outlined, tape read it, but no execution. There is simply not a real good trade entry here. Let's see. First low taken. Or is it actually taken? No, it's not. Just same low here. I wish I would have gotten a nice trade entry here. Man, that sucks if your target is getting hit and you are not on board because it's just no good trade entry. Inversion fair value gap here, but very choppy. Very, very choppy. Oh, I wish. I wish. Still want to get in a short here. Just don't get an entry. Just can short here. And it might just run without me. Stupid. Stupid. I hate it. I hate it. fucking short here. Give me a stupid fair value gap. Just give me a fucking fair value gap. Come on. Come on. Stupid shit just runs. Just runs without me. Stupid shit. Wanted to enter here. 30 handles already. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Stupid market. Sometimes you just don't get it. Ah, it's annoying me. I wanted to short all the way. All the way I wanted to short, but it just didn't give me a fair value gap entry I wanted to take. This was probably the best one here. Was not comfortable with this chop. Look at this consolidation. Volume imbalance here. Wick. Volume imbalance here. Has not reached it yet. Inversion fair value gap, where is it? Here. Potential inversion fair value gap for another short here. Let's see if we get into it. Just fell short. Just short of it. Didn't give me my entry yet. Let's see. 2 minutes until the final hour macro. Let's see if it can go into this inversion fair value gap. Market structure not ideal though. Here we go. There we go. Let's take a short for showcasing purposes. Let's see. Let's see. Take profit. Do not risk real money on this trade, please. Not a very high probability trade in my opinion. I am just trying to get something out of it. Still. But I'm not very very confident in this market conditions. However, let's try to carve something out of this session still. I think we should go lower. We're still I'll actually be I will be more conservative with the stop. If it stops me out, it's okay. I want to see it immediately go down from here. I don't want to see it go back up above this inversion fair value gap here. My stop is above this inversion fair value gap. It should not break the high again. It should not break this fair value gap again. It should, in my opinion, if I'm right with my bias, just go lower from here. Should melt from here. If not, I'm wrong and the conditions are just not worth risking any more trades or money before FOMC. So be very careful. It's just a trade idea I just want to showcase here. I will actually be very conservative with the stop here. And okay, we have reached it, so stop goes to break even immediately. We have broken this low here, so my stop immediately goes to break even or like a slight profit. I do not want to see it come back to take this high again. So I'm comfortable with actually, I'll put it here. If I'm right about the bias, it should not come back all the way. And we should just go lower, and my target is the today's opening range gap here. And also the midpoint from today's opening range, which is the high from here to the low. So it's below here. I think we have a couple of stops here, and my target take profit is just conservative. It's just a little bit more, a little bit higher, because under these conditions I don't want to be too greedy. I want to be in and out quickly. Actually, if I would have a partial, I would have already taken a partial here since we took this low. So actually, since I have only one contract, I cannot close it here. If I had more than 2 contracts on, I would definitely take a partial here. I would take a partial profit here. I would not hold the full position here. So, and I will be conservative about moving my stop. I will move it down here. Maybe that's a little bit too. I will move it to the high here, high of the fair value gap, and I want to see it melt lower now. We have a fair value gap here. Ideally it respects the 50% level here. Ideally it doesn't come back, but if it does, I want to be out. And if I get stopped out, I don't care. I just want to don't get a stupid loss here in this environment. And I think it should be just melting lower here. It should be just going lower here. So I will now move the stop even lower. I will move it to here. Actually above 50% of here. And ideally we see my target, my take profit hit very soon. Nice one. Nice, nice, nice. Nice, very hard market today. I'm still very happy that I was able and to carve something out here. Nice, nice, nice. So that was it. $700 today. And a market maker sell model. And that was the trade for today's session. I will close the stream in like 5 minutes. If you like what I'm doing, if you find it useful, if you're entertained, I would very appreciate it. I would appreciate it very much if you leave a like with this stream, if you comment it, if you share it, if you sign up to it. And this would help me a lot to grow this young channel and to give me a lot of motivation to continue doing this. So nice little scalp today for $700. And I will be, let me check the calendar, but I think I will be back tomorrow as well. I will stream tomorrow, most likely. Yes. So tomorrow I will be streaming as well. The AM session, 10 AM New York time. And yeah, really happy with my little trade here. Also happy that I'm out here. First execution canceled due to slippage. Second one was almost perfect. Entered within this inversion fair value gap here. And the target was 50% of this opening range here, and also the opening range gap here. And very happy about this execution here. Let me see how many handles that were yeah, around 30 handles. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I hope you liked the stream. I wish you all a good day wherever you are, and see you tomorrow, hopefully. I wish you a wonderful day, and see you tomorrow if you like. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and help me to grow this little young channel. All the best for you. Good luck, and see you next time.